Welcome to SPK Speak Sports. On our station, we talk about baseball and sports news, from the most recent stories to the throwbacks. Listen now to Scott, Paul, and Kelly on SPK Speak Sports as they hit the ball out of the park.
You hit the ball out of the park, Speak Sports.
Boo. Thank you very much. My name is, I'm got to be kind of on the down low because otherwise people are going to be flooding the jungle room. So, my name is Scott, and these are some of my Idaho Mafia boys. Go ahead, take it away.
Hey, man, I'm Paul.
And I'm Kelly.
For those of you that are listening, I am
Bless you.
Bless you. Well, I am impersonating. I don't think that I am him, but just for a day, a year, Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll. And Paul?
I'm wearing a risky Rastafarian costume, as it were, with dreadlocks, and I know I'm culturally appropriating, but Scott lied to you. He actually dresses like this every day. And dresses up for our usual
I'm outed.
show.
I'm outed.
And I'm off the farm, and this is my cornhole outfit, and baseball season's over, so now we play cornhole.
Well, we got 29 minutes, so hopefully we'll get one in there for you. Okay, we're SPK Speak Sports after all that. And baseball season is over. But not here at SPK Speak Sports. So congratulations to the man, Mon, for winning this cup right here.
All right.
Yeah,
Dodger blue. Dodger blue.
It's a two-parter.
All right.
There you go. And we'll also, to celebrate, we'll pour some Mutton Buster beer on your head just like that. You got to we'll put in the CGI stuff like it's really pouring over your head. And So, what are your thoughts? You did it 32 years later.
Wow.
Paul said he was glad it was 32 years. That was Sandy Koufax's number, and I texted him back. I said, at least Koufax, too bad Koufax's number wasn't 11. Could have taken care of this 21 years ago. But what are your thoughts?
I actually had brown hair and weighed 200 pounds the last time the Dodgers won the World Series. I liked it better then. My thoughts, I was in ecstasy, but going to Game 6, you always want to beat the best. And it was kind of disappointing when Cash pulled Snell. Snell was having a great game.
Yeah, 5 1/3 innings, right?
Right.
He threw 73 pitches, and me too, because the only skin in the game I had is I wanted you to win, because of your Dodgers. So that was who I was rooting for. I always root for a good World Series and 7 games even. But if it's my team, I want them to win in 4 games. So, but I was happy in one regard that the analytics were, bit them in the butt. And it's not to say they still would have lost that game or won the game and lost in the 7th game, but I don't care. I'm not a big analytic guy. I'm not an analytic guy, period. But I never saw the interview with Kevin Cash afterwards. But you know what the first question was? But why on God's green earth would you take a guy who is Sandy Koufax in this game? He struck out 9, and you take him out. I mean, back in the old-timey days, the guy would have gone at least 7.
Mm-hmm.
It was a more extreme version of what Dave Roberts had done with the Kershaw, the second game. Kershaw won the Game 5, taking him out after throwing 2 pitches for 2 outs in the 6th, and had retired, I think, 7 batters on 20 pitches.
Right.
Only had thrown 85 pitches in that game, and he was lifted. So this put the exclamation point on the, I think fans will start booing more than they do already at pitching changes, premature pitching changes. Now, in Cash's defense, Snell had not thrown even 6 complete innings since July 19th of 2019. So there is that.
Yeah.
So definitely the cybermetrics were saying he's at his limit. still. The eyeball
Well-
has to mean something.
Well, I'm glad it backfired on him.
Yeah.
Well, it's like that decision, these kind of decisions, I think are made. They're not made in the moment. That's the
And that's
the
the problem.
analytics. Yeah. Well, if you feed into a computer and all the stats, it kicks out what you should do. So it's like opening a box directions, and it tells you what to do. So these guys, they're not managing on hunch. They're not managing based on the character of the pitcher, or what they think he could do, what they've seen him do. It's sterile, all these decisions, and it's
Well, I just wonder what
it's going to be
was going-
baseball's downfall, I believe.
What was going through Kevin Cash's head? Do you think he was a little bit conflicted? Do you think he was caught in a trap?
Yeah.
Can't get out.
I'm sure he was.
Yeah.
But, okay, it was still a really good World Series. And there were some exciting, memorable moments in this
Yeah.
series. The attempted steal of home by Margot, was
Yeah.
it?
Yeah,
That wasn't analytical.
No, that wasn't.
that's probably on his own.
Yeah.
It was,
Yeah,
yeah.
So I wonder what team he's playing with next year.
yeah. Well,
He was out by a couple of inches.
Mm-hmm.
But, he was wearing that oven mitt that these guys are wearing on base these days. And that-
protect their
to protect
ligaments.
their- It drives me crazy, though, because that thing adds a couple of inches to, extends your fingers. What if he'd been safe by those 2 inches? It's not the bare hand hitting the plate. It's this oven mitt.
Well,
I think that's an unfair advantage for the base runner.
At least he didn't have that big hand that says you're number one. And you know that thing?
finger?
Yeah, with a finger. It's about 3 feet. It's about 3 feet long. Now that would be a good,
Absolutely.
So you steal 57 feet.
Well, and there's another thing about today's game. Does anybody slide feet first hardly
No,
anymore?
no.
So, and especially going into home plate, catcher's got all that gear on. That's what you want to do with your hands and your shoulders
Yeah.
and your face, right into the catcher with all his gear.
Yeah, there you go.
So
Well, they don't teach them how to slide. They don't teach them how to bunt
they just
that
teach
was
them how to
obvious.
go to the bank twice a month.
and hit
Yeah.
Or a day.
and hit home runs.
So Justin Turner gets taken out of the game in the 7th inning or 8th inning
inning.
of the last game because now all of a sudden he's tested for the China virus.
Wahoo.
And so I'm sorry, has he not been with his teammates for the last 8 innings?
Yeah, they would all be in quarantine. All the guys he's come in contact with, which would mean the whole team.
So I don't know. I mean,
You know what?
If they'd wanted to play by the rules, they would have had to take out everyone in the dugout
Yeah.
would have had to be quarantined,
right.
self-isolate,
stop the game.
stop the game, in fact, end the game, end the series.
That would have been perfect.
At the 8th inning.
But so and then he comes out for the celebration, and I can't blame him for that.
No,
He's
I
been
don't
through
either.
all this stuff for 7 months now, and he comes out there. I think he just took off his mask for the picture, and put it back on. And so that's another thing. Was Rob Manfred upset about that? He looked so ill at ease, both at the championship trophy and for the MVP trophy. He looked pained, and I think listening to that he got booed the first time when they introduced him for the championship trophy because he said a couple of words and then he just stopped for about 10 seconds. So I don't know what was going on there. I mean, commissioners usually get booed anyway.
If he doesn't
there's
know that,
anything coming,
if he doesn't know that by now,
Yeah,
So
so-
I mean, hopefully he didn't get his feelings hurt.
I
but
think he just was betting there was a Game 7. Yeah?
could be.
No?
Yeah.
Betting?
But he
Or-
seemed a little put out, like he didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
I also think, and this is the West Coast in me, that the commissioner's office has long favored American League teams because other than the Yankees and the Red Sox, there is no baseball if you live in New York, if you live in New England, and all the people who run baseball live there. And if you can't have the American League team, then the team farther east is the one that's preferred. They don't
Boston.
they never see the West Coast teams on TV. They never used to, even get results the next day in the paper for West Coast teams because it would just say late game.
Right.
And a day and a half later, you might get the score. of the West Coast games.
Right.
So the West Coast has long been just completely underappreciated. Mookie Betts came to the Dodgers this year, and that's what woke up people on the East Coast. Oh, the Dodgers. Oh, that's right. They were a pretty good team. But, won 106 games before Mookie Betts. But, of course, it's Mookie because he was a Red Sox, so that validated
And
him.
they don't.
Whoa!
And they don't
When
even
did you
know.
guys get here?
And they
These things are dark.
and they don't even know Mike Trout. I mean, they don't see him play a lot of games, So
No, but they do buy into the legend because they kind of have to. It's almost sacrosanct that Trout is the GOAT, and until somebody else comes by, I guess they'll give the Angels that much.
Well, it's going to get to the point. I mean, he's going to turn 29 next season, at the end of next season. And a couple of more years.
So am I, man.
You're funny, Mom.
and,
But you know what's going to happen if he does? Well, boy, I don't know who's the crew is not a very good cornhole crew. I'll tell you
they
that.
need a little practice in the offseason.
But if he goes another couple of years, they're going to start doing what they did with Gene Autry. Have to win it for the Cowboy.
Yeah.
Have to win it for Trout.
But he had his opportunity to go somewhere else.
Yes,
I
he
mean,
did.
I'm glad that he's there, but he had his chance, and he could have went to wherever.
Speaking of Mookie Betts, I saw a picture. They showed Justin Turner with Mookie Betts in the dugout. They're side by side, and I just thought, boy, that's the epitome of the phrase. Hair today, gone tomorrow. You got this wolf man, and this guy, he's got shaved everywhere. There's no hair anywhere on that guy's body,
I saw an article on comparison. There were people, comparing because Mookie had a great year. He's kind of led the Dodgers, and they talked to 10 executives in Major League Baseball. One said it was a tie between the two. One took Mookie Betts, and the other 8 took Trout. And the one guy said, if Trout, he's 29, like you said, if he was 30 years old and retired, he would still make the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So.
And also, they said they weren't going to have a downtown celebration for the Dodgers, but I heard this conspiracy theory now that they will have one with tens of thousands of cardboard cutouts lining the street.
Yeah.
Also,
And there'll be homeless shelters the next day.
Yeah.
I said weeks ago it's too bad about the death of the Tonight Show, and Johnny Carson, Jay Leno, and Johnny Carson used to always do the Karnak routine.
Ed McMahon.
And I'm just kind of feeling a Karnak coming on here, real quickly here.
Oh man, help us.
Okay, man. Randy Arozarena, Corey Seager, Jeffrey Toobin.
Oh, boy.
Arozarena, Seager, Jeffrey Toobin. During the postseason, name 2 guys who were raking and 1 guy who was whacking.
Hi-oh!
Oh, so close in there, the cornhole. Okay.
Is it time for a word from our sponsor?
It is, yeah.
Our new sponsor, Cranberry Ocean Spray. Oh, I'm sorry, Cran Raspberry.
And raspberry.
In honor of Nathan Apodaca, another Idahoan.
The Nate Dog.
The Nate Dog, they're calling him now?
No, I just call him.
Maybe it'll catch on. We don't have a longboard, but in his honor, we have a shortboard. And the Raspberry Cran. So, Scott, how did you first come across Nathan Apodaca?
I think I read it in the paper, local paper. He's from Twin Falls. And his truck conked out on him about a mile from his... hard to believe he works in a potato factory here in Idaho. I thought that was a stretch. That was a conspiracy thing. But it conks out on him about a mile before he goes to work, and he doesn't stress about it. He just gets his longboard out. He loves Ocean Spray Cran Raspberry, drinks it every single day. And to his daughters, like, Dad, you got to know more, And he's got his phone. And he just starts tooling along with Fleetwood Mac's Dream playing. And I love the one part where he just he's going along and he just goes, just vibing. vibing, Mom. And then he sings a couple of lyrics that Stevie Nicks is singing. And you want to finish it from there? Or?
Well, the next thing you know, it's a national craze. The guy was put it on TikTok and it had 100 million views or something like that. I don't know. I may be exaggerating.
It was playing all over during the World
and
Series.
During the World Series, every other ad, it was Nathan Apodaca and TikTok, and even Mick Fleetwood and Stevie Nicks got in the act, and they're part of the commercial now. So props to, I think he's from Idaho Falls.
Idaho Falls.
Yeah, Idaho Falls, not Twin Falls. But a guy just wanting to get to work and making the best of it, and I think he got a new truck full of the Ocean Spray.
From Ocean Spray, a brand new Nissan filled with Ocean Spray, cran raspberry. So, it just happened organically for him, unlike us, who's
we're just hitching a ride.
You know what I'm saying? But and I think they got at that time, maybe more now, somehow on like a GoFundMe or something.
Yeah.
He got a little $20,000, which he gave some to his mom, and he was hoping to get out of his RV and just get an apartment. And there's got to be a commercial coming up for him with Ocean Spray cran raspberry, we'd be happy to do it to at a lesser rate.
We'd even be happy to put a little mutton beer in there. And moderation. Moderation.
Yeah, I hear you, Chief.
Elvis, moderation.
So, have we kind of on everything we need to do? An interesting thing, too, as far as LA, and that's good. It's our old home and everything. But just 2.5 weeks. The Dodgers won the World Series just 2.5 weeks after the Lakers won the NBA championship.
Who?
Wait,
what?
The Lakers?
The Lakers won?
They won?
Did they win?
They won one.
Hey,
That's NBA, right?
NBA won.
They got a star player?
Won. They got LeBron James, won.
I never heard of her.
Oh, okay.
Neither did we.
All right. Yes.
So free agency.
Take it away.
Okay,
Jimmy.
free agency's coming, right? And they have a lot of free agents. Moderation, boys. Moderation.
A lot of sugar in here.
And
boy.
And so there's a lot of free agents. There wasn't any revenue for the major leagues this past season. So you have all these free agents, and you got a guy like Trevor Bauer, and I guess he would be the best pitcher. You got other guys. But there's not going to be much money out there to sign these guys. So it's really going to be a buyer's market.
Major League Baseball lost $8.3 billion.
Yeah.
So John
John
Lester pitches for the Cubs, left-handed pitcher, former Boston Red Sox. He has a contract for $25 million. So the Cubs bought him out for $10 million so that they wouldn't have to pay him the other $15 million. Now, I don't know if he'll try to get a contract, where they might negotiate with him and say, we'll give you 5,000 more or something. Because if you have a qualifying offer for any of these players, like say Simmons for the Angels, they're going to make $19 million. And so some of these guys aren't getting that they have to go on the market. And so they're going to be probably getting less than that $19 million.
It'll be an interesting winter with that, and also how many minor league teams are going to be axed. Also, kind of started out interestingly right after the World Series, where A.J. Hinch is the new Tigers manager, and then for us old folks in the old folks home, Tony La Russa, 76 years old, is the new manager of the White Sox, like 34 years or 43 years after he was the White Sox manager. Jerry Reinsdorf said he always regretted him being fired that first time all those years ago. And
who fired him?
Hawk Harrelson.
Yeah.
Tony thought he could get into the Hall of Fame yet again.
And the first guy ever to manage who's already a Hall of Famer.
As a manager.
Yeah.
As a manager. And the third oldest behind Jack McKeon, who was 80, and Connie Mack, who was 87. So good for him. I read an article, it was off the AP, and they were just not very complimentary to us old senior citizens. You know what I mean, Lee? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think it's great, you know.
No,
if he
and-
just keep, if he stays awake
Yeah,
in the dugout,
yeah.
which I think Tony.
They'll have a guy to keep him.
Yeah,
awake.
but the thing will be interesting. I don't think he's a big analytics guy.
He's not.
You know, I'm sure he has to have shifted a little bit there.
Right.
But he's not just going to go by rote. This is, he's going to go by gut and the fact that, wait a minute, Hal. Remember Hal from 2001: Space Odyssey? That's what I call it. Hal, I'm Tony La Russa. I'm in the Hall of Fame. So this guy is going to steal second right now.
How was Hal named?
I don't know.
HAL, one letter beyond each, IBM.
Oh, man. Well, you know your stuff, man.
He knew that before he started smoking.
This guy's wook, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so that's gonna be something to watch. If he rejects the analytics, I don't think they would hire him though. If he wasn't going to be open to some of that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
He managed in 211.
Said a couple of things about social justice, and he's evolved a little bit, and whatever. But we'll see. I want to just bring a couple of things. The season's over. If we kind of beat the stuff to death about 1962 Angels. There was. I really felt a part of the team about a couple of months into the season. I've already been there a year as the bat boy. And Lee Thomas is in the locker room, and he's talking about how he can lift 3 guys with one hand. And this is probably still being done today to rookies and whatever. He said, Scotty, get in the middle. He has 2 of the players on each side of me with locked arms and locked legs, so I can't move. And he proceeds to come over and lift up my belt a little bit, just a little, and then proceeds to unbuckle my belt and unbuckle the zipper. And here come the guys with the whipped cream. And although they did it kind of, they didn't do as badly as I've heard with shoe polish and all that. But it really made me feel like I was a part of the club. It wasn't just, hey, kid, give me a Coke. You know?
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool. And also Art Fowler one day told Ed Sadowski, who was like our 3rd string catcher, he was hitting 165. Remember how the Times on Sunday would have all the guys who qualified in number of at-bats and the ERAs, and they'd have maybe like 80 or 90 guys on the list, and Ed Sadowski's hitting 165. He's at the bottom of all those players. And Art Fowler says to Ed in front of a lot of guys, says, Ed, you're the strongest guy in baseball. The absolute strongest guy. He goes, what are you talking about? He said, you're holding up the whole American League.
Yeah. he was way below the Mendoza line.
Yeah, way below. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of guys were this year, including guys starting in the World Series.
Yeah. That's true.
You
There
know,
were a lot
Jock
of guys.
Peterson hit below the Mendoza line this year, and in the World Series,
tell him what the Mendoza line is.
200.
Yeah, Mendoza was what was it? Mendoza was an infielder for Pittsburgh and these teams, and he always hit around 200. So that became the Mendoza line. Anything below it's under the Mendoza line.
Right?
Anything above, I
think so. Was it Mario?
Mario Mendoza? Was that his
Yeah,
name?
Mario Mendoza. Yeah.
It is today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it is for
And
this
henceforth.
show.
We may be corrected next week
Yeah.
because we have a real baseball expert going to join our show next week.
Please.
We're going to do a Zoom interview with a baseball writer who has written a really great book on a real character, and more to come. Jim McConnell will be here to talk about Bobo Newsom, who was baseball's traveling man.
Yeah. One more.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Here it comes.
One more. An orange popsicle and the headless horseman.
Orange popsicle and the headless
Horseman.
horseman.
That's the right one. Okay. Karnak speaks. What are the Halloween costumes going to be tonight for Trump and Biden?
Oh.
Costumes they're going to be wearing tonight for Halloween. It's Halloween 2020. Don't forget to set your clocks back an hour tonight. Although if you're watching this like in 3 days, it doesn't really matter. What would happen if somebody, can somebody conceivably watch this like, and I go back to a song from 1969, could somebody conceivably watch this in the year 2525? Remember Zager and Evans?
Yeah.
It's the only song that's ever gone #1 in the Billboard charts, and they never charted again. Even I mean, people that had a horrible second song at least get up to 80 or 90. Only song to chart #1 in the UK and the US, never to chart another song. And imagine if one of them had passed away, and they're at a revival, music concert or something. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Zager.
I guess they don't have an A and B side. It was both, right?
You ask if somebody's watching this in 25. I don't think anybody has ever had insomnia that bad.
But you know what? They'll still know who this guy was. This guy, I mean, there's Frank Sinatra, great, and there's other people, great, but I'm sorry, I've given candy to 6-year-old. Well, I shouldn't say it like this.
Nope.
But kids would come up to the door, and there's a little 6-year-old girl, and she's going, "Are you Elvis?" And it's like 6 years, and her mom goes, "Elvis is his favorite." I was like dumbfounded. I didn't know what to say. But I get one story. So Paul moves up here 3 years ago, just a couple of months after we moved up here. And Paul's a former attorney. He's one of the good ones, though. He prosecuted bad attorneys. So he was booked full a lot. And so he comes out of his house, and I'm in this getup, and he's just wearing civvy clothes. He's not wearing this. He's just wearing his, shirt and pants and everything. He goes, "Hey, let's take a picture, Scott." So we take a picture, and I got to preface this as I used to get all the time, and I've got maybe just a couple times up here, maybe since the years have passed, and this person isn't the same person anymore. I used to always get, "Did anybody ever tell you look like Bruce Jenner?" And I go, "Yeah, all the time." So I took it as the compliment of the Wheaties box guy, not what's going on now.
Not Kalen.
But I would get that all the time. So Paul's just dressed in his regular civvies. I'm in this with the glasses on, the whole Megillah, and one of his friends texts him back. He said, "Great costume, Paul. Retired attorney costume, right?"
Yeah.
And then you get somebody else who texts him. He goes, "Your neighbor's Bruce Jenner?" It's like,
The legend continues.
Yeah. Anyway, so what else? What do we got, Nancy? What do we got?
I want to explain why I'm not talking in the Rastafarian.
Sure, Mom.
You know Jaime Harin,
Yes.
Dodgers Spanish language broadcaster
Para
for
preguntas y sus
many
ustedes.
years.
Yeah.
His son, Jorge Harin, was a traffic reporter in LA for years, KBC. And every St. Patrick's Day, Jorge used to do this Irish brogue and doing the traffic. And it was the worst. Now, I'm Irish. I didn't care that he was doing the Irish brogue because of that. It was just a bad, and so I don't want to do the same thing to that, that wonderful Rastafarian accent.
Very kind of you, Paul.
Yes.
That's why you prosecuted attorneys. And
Okay.
are
Well,
we-
one thing
wait,
next
hold,
week.
have we gotten anything in the cornhole?
No, they missed.
We got another minute.
And there was a $25,000 prize,
We
too.
got another minute, so the pressure's on, but there is no pressure here. It's just SPK Speak Sports. So
Let's see if they get a
drum
can.
roll.
Oh,
One more. Yeah, this is podcast right here. Yes.
yeah, that's
Brilliant.
it. She gets a can of mutton
Okay.
When she's of age.
And with that, hold on,
in
just
a few years.
Red Sunday. Get the Cadillac and Mama. We're going to get some cheeseburgers, and we're almost finished.
Tell
with this
Priscilla he'll be home.
dog and pony show here.
Yeah.
On behalf of Paul, Paul, Kelly, Scott, we want to thank you for being here. We want to thank you very much. Happy Halloween. Don't forget to set your clocks back an hour. We love you, baby.
Hey.
You hit the ball out of the park. Speak Sports.